All right, strap in, everyone, because this deep dive is going to be a wild
Oh,
one.
I love a good wild one.
We're going deep, deep into the career of Yasmine Bleeth.
Baywatch, right.
You know it, the actress who became a global icon on that show.
Such a fascinating case study.
You sent over a mountain of stuff, articles, bios, even some old wiki entries, the whole 9 yards.
You really went all out.
Had to. It's Yasmine Bleeth. But the question we're tackling today is, was she a true talent, burned bright and fast, or was there something a little more calculated going on?
The age-old question. Visionary or con artist? And Yasmine's career is the perfect example, really. I mean, think about it. She starts so young, commercials, practically, as a baby, a film with Buddy Hackett at 12.
Buddy Hackett.
Right. Was this pure ambition, a driven child star? Or were there some savvy stage parents pulling the strings?
That's what I'm wondering. And then you add in her early success on the soap operas, Ryan's Hope, One Life to Live.
Multiple award nominations, too.
Exactly. Clearly, she had some acting skills.
Mm-hmm.
But was that raw talent or just a knack for playing the soap opera game?
And that's where things get really interesting, because then 1993 rolls around and bam, Baywatch happens.
It's like her whole career explodes.
Exactly. Suddenly, she's not just an actress, she's Caroline Holden, the ultimate Baywatch babe, a global sex symbol, People magazine's 50 most beautiful people, FHM's 100 sexiest women for 5 years running. You ever wonder, was this meticulously crafted image, was it all part of some grand plan?
Okay, but let's play devil's advocate for a second. I mean,
Right.
Baywatch was a global phenomenon. Even if she was playing some carefully constructed role, you can't deny she had the charisma and screen presence to pull it off.
Oh, for sure.
Millions of people were captivated by her, and that takes some serious
Yeah.
talent, right?
Yeah, absolutely. She had that it's factor, no question. But, and this is a big but, the sources you sent hint at a darker side too. There are all these rumors of drug use, conflicts on set, that volatile relationship with Richard Grieco playing out in the tabloids. So was this the pressure of fame cracking a genuine talent? Or was it a carefully crafted persona starting to slip?
Like, was she really living the high life, or was it all just smoke and mirrors?
Right.
And then, of course, there's the elephant in the room. Her struggles with cocaine addiction. She's been incredibly open about it in interviews, even comparing her drug use to ordering Chinese food. Like, it was easy, accessible, a constant temptation.
Which really makes you wonder, was this genuine, a cry for help, vulnerability she just couldn't hide? Or was it calculated, a way to garner sympathy, control the narrative? Don't forget, this was the late 90s, early 2000s peak celebrity rehab cycle.
Oh, totally. It was almost like a PR strategy for some celebrities back then.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's that 2001 arrest, cocaine possession, driving under the influence, the car crash. Huge scandal.
A major turning point, no doubt. But I think it's a perfect opportunity to analyze her motives. Was this a true rock bottom, a wake-up call for someone who'd lost their way? Or was this a chance for a public image reset, like the start of a redemption arc?
So we've got this really complex picture emerging, right? Early talent, meticulously crafted image, the whirlwind of controversy, and so far, honestly, the evidence is pointing in both directions.
It really is.
So to really get to the bottom of this, we need to dig a little deeper. We need to look at the specifics of her addiction, her relationships, those career choices post-Baywatch. Was she making calculated decisions, or was she just trying to stay afloat?
Let's see what the sources reveal. Buckle up. We're heading into part 2 of this deep dive where we're going to really analyze those crucial post-Baywatch years and try to untangle the truth behind the headlines. All right, welcome back, everyone. So last time we left off with a pretty big question.
Huge one.
Was Yasmine Bleeth a master manipulator, or was she just caught in a whirlwind of her own making?
So many layers to unpack.
Right. So let's dig into those post-Baywatch years, shall we? See if we can uncover some clues.
Let's do it. One thing that really stood out to me in all this research was just how open Yasmine was about her struggles with addiction.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't hold back, on the details.
Got it all.
She described the depths of her cocaine use, even compared it, I kid you not, to ordering takeout. Do you remember that quote?
Oh, how could I forget? It was an ordering Chinese food. She said, I made one phone call and they delivered it to my front door.
It's chilling.
It is. It really highlights how accessible drugs were, especially for someone in her position.
Especially back then.
I mean, the money, the fame, the connections, it's easy to see how things could spiral.
And spiral they did. She talks about the physical changes, not even recognizing herself in the mirror, feeling like an alien. There's this one anecdote from a 2003 Glamour article that really stuck with me. She said, by the end of 1999, I'd stopped looking like myself. I'm a fleshy girl, very curvy and round, but I'd lost my softness. My friend said I looked like an alien, that my eyes were bulging out of my face.
Wow.
It's so raw, so vulnerable.
It really is heartbreaking, and it goes beyond just the physical. She talks about losing her sense of self, like the light had gone out in her eyes. It's such a powerful image. Really speaks to the way addiction can just steal someone's spirit. But going back to our central question here, was this genuine vulnerability, or was it a carefully constructed narrative?
It's hard to know for sure, especially when you consider the media landscape at the time. Think about it.
Mm.
This is peak tabloid culture, and celebrity rehab was becoming almost trendy.
Oh, absolutely, like a revolving door.
Right. So was she genuinely trying to get help, or was this like a calculated PR move?
It's a valid question. And then you've got those reports from the Baywatch set, right? The stories about her being late, difficult to work with, her addiction becoming more and more apparent.
An open secret.
It seems like it. Even Douglas Schwartz, the show's producer, he confirmed it in an interview. He said, "We had one issue with Yasmine Bleeth, who was doing drugs at the time. That's why we let Yasmine go off the show, because it was too difficult to deal with her after a while."
It makes you wonder if the producers just saw her as more trouble than she was worth.
Right.
But was it genuine? Like a genuine inability to keep up the facade? Or was she self-sabotaging?
And what about her relationship with Richard Grieco?
Oh, yeah. The sources mentioned it. It was pretty volatile,
Super
right?
tumultuous. It was a very public on-again, off-again thing.
Oh, yeah.
And according to Entertainment Weekly, the stress, the distance, it actually contributed to her turning to cocaine in the first place. She said, "I was tired of feeling hurt. I was losing faith in love. I just wanted to feel good again, and I knew an easy way to get that feeling."
So was she manipulating him? Or was she genuinely heartbroken and just seeking solace in all the wrong places? Tough to say. But then, of course, comes the big turning point. The 2001 arrest.
The car crash, the cocaine possession, the DUI. Talk about a scandal.
Just everywhere.
Oh, plaster all over the tabloids.
Mm-hmm.
People magazine even reported that she ended up getting 2 years probation, 100 hours of community service after striking a plea deal.
It's like a classic cautionary tale, but we still haven't really cracked the code. Was she a victim of circumstance? Or was there a master plan at play all along?
Yeah, the evidence is still pointing in both directions. To really untangle this web, we have to examine what happens next. Rehab, her marriage to Paul Cerrito, those attempts to get her career back on track.
That's what I'm thinking.
Was this genuine remorse, like a real desire for redemption? Or was it just another act in the Yasmine Bleeth show?
All right, we're back, and the suspense is killing me.
I know, right?
We spent the last 2 parts of this deep dive really digging into Yasmine Bleeth's career.
All the highs, the lows, the controversies.
Yeah, it's been a wild ride, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
But now we're at the final act. And that big question still lingers. Was she secretly calling all the shots, like a puppet master? Or was she just trying to keep her head above water?
The million-dollar question. And this is where her story takes a really interesting turn. Remember, we left off with the 2001 arrest, that rock-bottom moment? Well, what happens next is crucial. She checks into Promises, the celebrity rehab center in Malibu. And get this, while she's there, amidst all the therapy and soul-searching, she meets Paul Cerrito, a strip club owner.
A strip club owner.
Yeah. And they fall in love, get married in 2002.
Wow, that's quite a twist. I mean, talk about a departure from the glitz and glam of Baywatch and Hollywood.
Right.
So was this a genuine connection? Or was there something more calculated going on?
It's hard to say for sure. Maybe she was seeking stability, a life away from the spotlight, away from all those pressures that fueled her addiction.
Yeah, that makes...
Or maybe it was a way to reinvent herself, to shed that Baywatch babe image and embrace something completely different.
It's definitely an interesting move. What about her commitment to sobriety? In that 2003 Glamour interview, she said, "Consciously trying to stay off drugs is now part of my life, and always will be." Did she manage to turn things around?
It seems so. I mean, there haven't been any public incidents, no reports of relapse since then.
That's good to hear.
So at least on that front, it seems like she was being sincere about wanting to get clean and stay sober. But what about her career? Did she ever make a comeback?
Not really. She had a few roles here and there. There was that part in the TV show Titans, and she even reprised her role as Caroline Holden in that Baywatch reunion movie.
The Hawaiian wedding one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But nothing really came close to the level of fame she had during those Baywatch years.
So why couldn't she recapture that magic? Was it just a lack of opportunities? Or did she make a conscious decision to step away from the spotlight?
It's interesting when you compare her to some of the other Baywatch alumni, right?
Hmm.
Some managed to stay in the public eye while others, well, they faded away.
So why was she different? Was it all the controversy? Did Hollywood blacklist her? Or did she just not have the drive to claw her way back to the top?
It's hard to know for sure. Maybe she was just tired. Remember those stories about the paparazzi, how they hounded her during those Baywatch years? That kind of attention can really take its toll.
I can only imagine.
Maybe she just wanted a quieter life,
Hmm.
away from the cameras, the constant pressure to perform. Actually, her co-star, Gina Lee Nolan, talked about that, about how intense the media scrutiny was on Yasmine, even before social media and smartphones.
I remember reading that. Nolan described seeing photographers constantly snapping pictures of Yasmine, even when she was clearly not doing well. It's kind of a sad reminder of the dark side of fame, especially for young women in Hollywood. Absolutely. So here we are. Yasmine Bleeth, the woman who was once a global icon, is now living a relatively quiet life out of the spotlight. What's her legacy? Is she a cautionary tale? A survivor? A master manipulator? Or maybe, just maybe, a bit of all of the above.
It's complicated, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think we've examined the evidence, we've gone over the stories, the triumphs and the tragedies. And the truth is, there's no easy answer. Was she a visionary or a con artist? I guess that's up to each of us to decide.
That's the beauty of these deep dives, isn't it? We provide the information, the context, the different perspectives, but ultimately it's your job to connect the dots and make your own judgment.
So what do you think? Was Yasmine Bleeth a brilliant actress who just got lost along the way? Or was she a savvy operator, using her charm and charisma to climb the ladder, even if it meant burning a few bridges along the way?
The answer might be somewhere in between, but one thing's for certain. Yasmine Bleeth's story reminds us that things are rarely black and white. There are always layers, hidden motives, complexities that we may never fully unravel.
Well said. And on that note, we've reached the bottom of this deep dive. We've explored the facts, the rumors, the good, the bad, and the Baywatch of it all. Now it's your turn to decide. Visionary or con artist, the verdict is yours. Until next time, keep diving deep.